See, I was right. I was right. These bad games are all either money laundering or tax scams. Technically, I said money laundering. But a tax scam, close enough. Dustborn exposed as taxpayer scam while Sony's Concord falls under 100 players, which I also think is money laundering or a tax scam. My boy Yellow Flash too.
Well, that didn't take very long. I was talking about this in a video the other day about how we're going to see Concord fall below 100 players. Well, it's already happened. In fact, the 24-hour peak was below 200. This game is quickly dying. It's performing at Suicide Squad levels. No, wait, excuse me. That game has 83 players in it, so it's actually doing a little bit better than Kill the Justice League. My bad. Wow, this game has fallen too. Wow, what a disastrous year for DEI gaming. You would think that they might reevaluate.
What a disastrous year for gaming in general. Even the really, really good games would have been mid in like 2010.
What they're doing, but I'm not so sure about that with this new Dustborn information that we're going to hit in a second. But yeah, this is really bad. So I would think by the end of the month, this game will probably be completely dead. Maybe 20 people sitting in the game, and that'll just be people with their computers on in a lobby, probably at the developer's studio, so that it still looks like there's somebody that enjoys this game. What an L for Sony.
At this point, people are making a point to not play it. I already wasn't going to play it. I don't play very many games anymore. When I play games, it's usually older games. The newest game that I've been playing is Civilization 6, and I barely like that game. I love it, but it's not as good as 5.
And Sony's had a good year, but this is a big blemish, a big one. And reports are coming in saying that this game made less than $1 million on Steam. Keep in mind, this game probably cost like $200 million to make. I'm just kind of throwing that number out there because it's not cheap to make a game like this, especially if it's true that it took them 8 years to make it. It's probably more. But I'm trying to be fair and generous with the number just to be safe. I think it's a fair estimate that it cost $200 million to make this game, and they only made about $1 million on Steam. I'd love to know how much they made on PlayStation. I'd love to know that number. They'll never tell us, but I bet you it's probably around the same figure. I bet you there's not that many people playing it on PlayStation either. They're all playing Wukong, because don't forget, that game came out on PlayStation 2. That's what they're...
Yeah, it came out on PlayStation 5, not the PlayStation 2. I am very mad. I'm very upset that Black Myth Wukong is going to end up being Game of the Year for most people that played it. Because why is that game... I mean, I understand it's a really good game, but there should be more games. There should be some competition. Come on. What other games are competing with Black Myth Wukong this year for Game of the Year spot? I haven't even played it.
They're all playing, or they're already playing Overwatch. They already had something that they could play. Bunch of free-to-play hero shooters. Marvel Rivals comes out next month. That's free to play too. They'll be playing that, not this. Oh, what a disaster.
I ain't going to be playing that either.
DEI needs to go away. But I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon, considering all of the free funding that they get for making these kinds of games. So this was interesting. We were all laughing at Norway and the EU for funding Dustborn and giving them a bunch of tax money. Turns out the United States of America gave them money too. $275,000 to be exact. Paying too much in gas? Groceries a little too much? Don't worry. Your money's going to good causes. It's going to fund games like Dustborn. This is literally government propaganda, by the way. That's what...
Yeah, somebody down here says, so Ubisoft's Watch Dogs sequel gonna take a new turn. This company used to make Assassin's Creed and like Watch Dogs and stuff like that. And that Watch Dogs wasn't even that long ago. It was like 10 years ago.
What this game is. So your tax dollars funded a game that didn't even sell so that we could get out literal government propaganda.
Wait, it was funded by the government and then didn't sell. That sounds like some money laundering, some tax scam, tax evasion kind of stuff.
As John A. Douglas puts here in his tweet, because he's right, the game is literal government propaganda. How many people are playing this game, by the way, on Steam? 23. 23 people playing this game right now on Steam. What are the conditions for this game? Well, we have some of them. In fact, thanks to Niche Gamer in this link right here, we have the entire proposal. A U.S. Embassy Public Affairs section announces an open competition for organizations to submit applications to 1, produce an English and Dutch language pilot, produce a French version, produce an additional translation of a European language, Asian language, or African language, host the game on their own websites, develop and implement data collection and analysis, promote the games to the target audience. They also have found that digital games have proven to be an effective tool in building cognitive resistance to disinformation across diverse environments and cultural contexts. The U.S. Embassy in The Hague is accepting proposals for the development of a digital game.
I'll just call it Hag. Hag's fine. It looks like Hag. I don't care how it's really pronounced.
That incorporates active inoculation theory along with other digital media literacy education methods in a fun, interactive experience targeting global internet users ages 15 and up. Primary gameplay should simulate the experience of engaging in common disinformation and propaganda activities while educating the user on digital literacy applicable in the real world.
Sounds like you're trying to propagandize children. That's what that sounds exactly like.
Successful proposals will incorporate active inoculation theory that addresses current disinformation and propaganda tactics. The delivered project should be modular, scalable, and expandable so that later iterations could address additional problem sets, such as violent extremism and health misinformation. The game will be piloted simultaneously with players in the United Kingdom. And
that should be up to parents. That should be up to parents and actual, like, smart people who aren't making a video game for a living, an unsuccessful video game at that. This is definitely some propaganda that was used as a front for some kind of scam or money laundering.
And the Netherlands, and lessons learned from these pilots will inform the final version of the game intended ultimately for global audiences. The next translation will be produced for French speakers in Europe and Africa, followed by one more translation into the European, Asian, or African language to be determined later. Well, there's a lot here. I'm not going to go over all of this, but this is actually just a piece of the bullshit that your tax money goes out there to. You could look this up, by the way. I'm pretty sure you can look up and see what your money is going to in a lot of these grants. There's so much wasted taxpayer money that goes into grants. Like, this really is nothing compared to some of the nonsense that our tax money pays for. But it's got to piss you off knowing that your tax money paid for this game. Nobody's playing it. Literally wasted money so that they can make a propaganda game. What a joke. And the game is evil, by the way. I watched some of Savvy's stream yesterday, Madam Savvy.
Oh, man. Am I going to have to watch some gameplay of this game to see what it's about? Oh, not today.
Streaming this game on YouTube. And I got to tell you, this is the most unlikable group of characters I've ever seen. And she's supposed to be the one you relate with and is a hero. And she's a jerk. She bullies people. She's mean to people for no reason. Literally spreads the woke mind virus. It's insane.
What happened to teaching people to not bully? Now they're straight up teaching people to bully. I know of kids in my hometown that are becoming, or that are getting homeschooled now because the bullying has gotten so out of hand.
It's hilarious that this game failed, but it's bullshit that tax money was spent on it.
I can believe it.
I would encourage everybody.
Honestly, I would rather my tax money go to video games like this rather than Ukraine. At least I can actually do something with it.
To look into things that your tax money goes to, because you'd be quite surprised
Palestine
how
too.
much nonsense your tax dollars
Or
pay
Gaza,
for.
whatever. Palestine doesn't exist.
It's wild. But yeah, this is one of them. A game where your superpower is bully. We've learned to bully people. Bully gives us the power to force people to do something they may not want to do, or to make them feel bad about themselves in fights. This could be highly effective on targeted enemies.
And that's what they do.
This game is actually evil, she says at the bottom of this post. Yeah, it's true. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
I would rather have my kid playing GTA San Andreas than this game, because this game is worse for the mind than games like GTA San Andreas. When they say that games are bad for you, they're right. Games like this are bad for you. They're bad for your mental health, at least, from having to play garbage like that.